I'm Tiger Woods, and this is my game. This is a golf lesson none of you had before. It's all personal preference, because I think that certain players putt really well in a rigid system. It's a security blanket. But then you get guys that have this flow to a stroke. It's just like artistic, right? To me, like the art of putting. That's how I perceive putting. There's no one way. Thing is, to me, can you repeat it day in and day out? Can you repeat it when everything matters? When I get too robotic, I can't repeat that. My stances and my sit-ups may have been slightly different, throughout my career, but it was the art side of it said to go there. That allowed me to release the club the way that I know I can, and the way I know I can roll the ball, hence I can start on my line with the right pace and the putts will go in. Again, I'm gonna keep saying this, hit the ball in the middle of the face. I know it's the smallest swing we make, but we all miss-hit putts, which we really shouldn't. It's one of the reasons why I do the tee drill all the time. I do it incessantly before every round. I do it at home, I do it everywhere. I always do the tee drill. And that's just a simple little thing of having two tees, they basically lean up against the putter. And it's just to ensure that I hit the putt solid. Well, it's a very simple drill. I go about 4 feet from the hole, and I put it right off the toe and right off the heel of the putter. As you can see from the back camera here, if I rest the putter up against the heel tee, there's really not a lot of room on the toe. So it ensures that I have to hit the ball flush, and I have to be able to make sure that I present the club face square every single time. How do I get there? It doesn't ensure that. I can still take it back way inside, I can take it outside, but in order to get through the tees, I have to swing it where I hit the ball right in the middle of the face. And I like starting with my right hand. So I do it with my right hand, and I'll probably hit at least 20 or 30 of these just with my right hand. Try and get a feel for it. I like feeling the face rotate. I like feeling my right hand hit. I like feeling load in my stroke going back, release coming through. When I then do enough of those where I feel comfortable, then I'll put my left hand on and try and simulate the same feel with both hands. And then I'll go bounce back and forth between right-handed and both hands. And I'll do this for a while. And as a kid, I used to spend hours doing this. What I realized is that if you spend too much time doing this, you lose your lag putting feel. So this is just the beginning part of my warm-up or my practice session when I putt. Hit a lot of these, and then immediately I'll hit a couple 6-7 footers, and then I'll hit nothing but lag putts for a little bit. Stretch out my stroke.
His ability to have kind of a free-flowing stroke, something that he sort of feels the weight of the putter head, it sort of flows behind his hands, and then he kind of tries to hold it through a little bit. And a lot of great putters have done it that way. The key is that you got to do it that way, but you have to hit the ball in the same spot and launch it with the same amount of loft every time. And he will strike it in such a way that he's launching it at pretty much 4 degrees loft every single time. And that's hard to do, and it's really hard to do typically with a more of a natural flow stroke. And I think that's what makes him so good.
Do I lean more on my left side, a little more on my right side? My stance wider, narrower? Is it close? Am I further away from it? Am I more on top of it? Hands higher, hands lower? That has all evolved, and it changes from day to day, week to week, year to year. I've done everything. I've tried them all. But One thing I always try and do is hit every putt solid, and then the rest will figure itself out. If I can't hit a putt solid, how am I going to control pace? If I can't control pace, I can't control line. And so it's a simple little thing of hitting the putt solid, and there's no sweeter feeling to me, feeling that putt hit flushed and released. And man, that's such a great feeling. My dad always taught me to putt to the picture, and what he meant by that is every time you look, you're taking a picture. Where you're looking down at the golf ball, but every time you look up, you're taking a picture. I look back on how genius that was, because how do you explain a 10-foot putt to a 10-mile putt to a 2-year-old? Okay, it doesn't make any sense to them. The only thing that makes any sense is you putt to what you see. Dad described it as anytime you look at the hole. So whether it's walking around or it's anytime I look up, I'm painting a picture and in my mind. And so at the end of the day, when I look back to the golf ball and I putt, I'm just putting to what I just saw. And when that's all my looks, whether it's reading it or looking up, and the 2 looks that I normally give, is I'm just putting to that picture that I painted. And it frees up my stroke, but that doesn't mean that I get to get away with not doing all my drills and making sure my posture is good, my grip's good, my pressure is good, all these other little things. But at the end of the day, just free up and go. It's won me a lot of tournaments, put that way, to putt to the picture. Yeah, I do a lot of my core work early. And then from there, I'll play some games. I'll put tee down from, call it 10 feet or so on a few sides and try and hit dive putts. And then I'll hit aggressive putts. I'll take high line, low line. I'll do lag drills to make sure I lag it, to the front side of the cup from, call it 15 feet. And then I'll say, okay, I'm gonna lag it to the back side of the cup. Then I'm gonna make this putt from say 6 or 8 feet on the right side of the hole only. I'll make it on the left side of the hole only, just to break up the monotony. But I'm trying to tap into my creativity and my artsy side of it. There's a craziness to it, but also there's something that has proven that it has worked in tournaments. Oh, my green reading starts behind the golf ball. Kind of get a general sense of the putt, where it's going to go right to left, uphill, downhill. When I go to the halfway point, I'd like to look at, when I look down the line, I'm trying to get what it does in the second half of the putt. And so I tend to get over it like this, and I look down the line and trying to figure out what is it going to do late. Is it going to fall, not fall, right, left? Is it going to run away from me, or is it going to slow up? Because this is the easier part, is just kind of just hitting it, but what is it going to do late? Now I go behind the hole, come back around, and then when I get back here, I already know what it's going to do late, get a feel for it, and putt to what I just saw.
He told me when I first started working for him, he says, I'm not going to call you in on an 8-footer that's right edge. He says, I can figure that out. But when there's a tricky putt with 2 or 3 breaks, I'm going to call you in. And I said, you can call me in on the 6-footers that are right edge or any putt. I love to read greens. And I also told him right up front, I said, if you think I'm going to be right every time, you're crazy, because that's not going to happen. I mean, it's a nice combination. If you think you can read him halfway decent, he's going to put a good stroke on it. So I like our chances. Sliding right the whole way.
See about that far?
Maybe a little less at the end. I just see less at the end, so I think maybe in here.
Yeah, perfect.
Like from here, it looks like it's less.
I like that a lot.
I mean, less braking anyways.
I personally like envisioning myself, this is a putt to win the Masters. This is a putt to win the US Open. This is the putt to beat Jack Nicklaus. This is a putt to do this. And I put myself in these scenarios. Now, there'll be different putts. One from 3 feet, 6 feet, 10 feet, left to right to left, whatever it may be. Over hills, okay, 2 putts to win this tournament. Put it this way, I've never ended on a putt that has never gone in, okay? So I've always ended on a success. Now, I may do that for 15 times and miss it, but the last one I made, the more I trained, the better I felt. And I wanted to become stronger and be able to control what I'm doing. And the more endurance I got, the better I was able to practice, hence I was longer. It just fueled itself. The average golfer on tour now is becoming better younger because they're stronger. It's amazing how much stuff has evolved. If you call for 36 holes, I got it. If you need me to shoot 65, I got that too. That's because I just felt strong enough to do it.